For me, the hype for this project was real. It's been more than 2 years since the life of Pablo, and Kanye West is back once again with a brand new album, if you can call 7 tracks in 23 minutes an album. But I'm still satisfied because not only is this album good, but it's only one of a series of 5 Kanye produced albums announced on Twitter 2 months ago, the first one being Daytona, which I covered last week. So on that note, just make sure you subscribe with that notification bell, follow me on Instagram to keep up with my series on what's about to be an amazing June for hip-hop. Formerly called Love Everyone, the new album titled Ye dropped in a unique way fit for such a unique artist and album, with a launch party around a Wyoming bonfire. The whole world listened to the album at the same time and I immediately fell in love. From the incredible samples to the classic witty and hilarious lyrics we expect from Ye to the rock and roll-esque ending few tracks, it's already some of the best music I've ever heard from Kanye. For me, it felt like a continuation of Life of Pablo's vibe, with some of the aggressiveness of Yeezus and some of the more sweet stuff reminiscent of Only One. That shorter length I think was on purpose, to cut through the fluff, really focus in, and make sure every single track was great. So let's jump into the actual explain part. Let's get right into that first track, a song that's talking about those themes of self-love, hating himself, doubting himself, and just his overall mental health. He talks in this paradox of love and wanting to kill, making the connection that if he loves himself a lot, which I think everyone agrees, but found himself wanting to kill himself, then he must also love the people he feels like he wants to kill, which may be an exaggerated form of hating. I think that's the callback to the original name of this album, Love Everyone, and this is his reasoning for how he convinced himself to do so. And what I'm predicting is going to be an iconic intro. Ye reasons his way into loving even the people he wants to kill, including himself, because he cares enough to want to kill them. When he wants to kill himself, it's because he cares about himself and is tired of his struggles or struggling with mental health, etc. It's a lot to wrap around one's head, but it kind of makes sense. I think pairing this with the original proposed album art, that forgiveness that he's trying to show to the surgeon that killed his mother, makes it feel like that's who this song is in part addressed to. But I definitely think it's not that specific, and it can expand to just generally loving everybody. He also touches on that idea of people trying to control what he says and how that's held him back. I think the album also represents his journey recovering from his mother's death, starting with trying to make up for the love lost from his mother's death, ending with the representation of his love for his children as a father, a love that's strong enough to make him reject the hip-hop world and culture he's a part of in fear of it messing up his children. Goodbye my friend, will I ever love again? That was the thing going through his mind when his mother died, and over the years he's learned to be able to love again, through the birth of his children, through him finding Kim, and that's all stuff he discusses on this album. And so we see that connection really clearly to Kim and to his children on those respective tracks, but I think if we look at the second track, we really see how he kind of gets loving himself from that self-confidence and really just ignoring what everyone else has to say about what he thinks. And we see those struggles being explored on that second track, Kanye literally saying that at first he scared himself because of all the things that people are saying around him. Sometimes he feels like he can't just shake it off and he starts to scare himself, doubting himself and believing the people around him. He starts from TMZ to Russell Simmons to people saying TBD, sort of doubting his musical ability, that he'd be able to make the deadlines on time, and then also people trying to make him doubt himself by saying he must be on drugs to say the things that he's saying that he's on 2CB. This is all just another pitfall in his journey to loving everyone, recovering from the lack of love from his mother's death, the insecurity and the slight itch in the back of his mind saying, what if they're all right about me? He ends both of these songs with a shot of his arrogance and his wildness, making the song better, but also sort of suggesting that his arrogance is how he gets over those fears and how he changes those moods, the same way he changes the moods of the music so well. He fights off that doubt with full self-confidence. It's a 23-minute album, but there's a lot here, all that specific stuff about Nicki's voicemail and the reference tracks. I'm literally making this video 30 minutes after that live stream, so there is bound to have been stuff that I missed, smaller stuff. And you all know how much I love Yeezy, so you know that in the coming week I'll be video after video discussing all that. But I think if you zoom out kind of past the initial lyrics, the sort of specifics, the music, sonically, you sort of get the theme of this album is how he got to where he is today, being able to love everyone, from doubting that he'd ever love again, his journey from 808s and heartbreak to Ye. 8 albums into his career, he takes a personal and very introspective look at it all and says, this is how I've changed, but for me, emotionally, it's been for the better. He has love now, and no matter what TMZ says, what the critics say, that love is gonna keep him going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you with more in-depth videos after Govball. Peace.